Hello, hello everyone and welcome to the webinar. My name is Daniel and I'm a video host at ZNotes and I'll be your host for today. This webinar is part of our wider Uni Guide series designed to support students on their journey towards higher education by providing them with essential information, expert insights, and dedicated advice. Today's event is presented in partnership with Chaajao, Pakistan's leading edtech platform for university entrance test prep, offering live classes, recorded courses, and thousands of practice MCQs with exact solutions. We'll be discussing how to prepare for the digital SAT with effective strategies, smart timelines, and expert insights. From adaptive test design to the skills universities really value, I'm happy to introduce to you Mr. Talal Hussain and Mr. Tunain Tanveer, SAT trainers with 12 plus years of experience who will be leading this session with the presentation. Remember, there is a dedicated Q&A session at the end, so please share your questions in the chat box and we'll try to answer them as best as possible.
Okay, so there was a bit of lag. So yeah, so this is
Mr. Hunain?
Hunain. Yeah. So hello everyone, this is Hunain. I am a part of Chaajao, where we actually teach students, we guide students towards all the possible universities you can imagine through SATs, even all the local universities in Pakistan. So we have been a part of Chaajao since the very beginning, and Alhamdulillah, we have grown by folds, trifolds in the past recent years. Post COVID, we have expanded to all the global universities where students aspired to get admissions in top universities, for example, Harvard, Yale, MIT, or any universities which are second-tier universities and which give scholarships through SATs in getting good scores. So yes, this session is gonna be very fruitful. We actually believe in two-way communication, so don't worry. We will not just be talking and you will be listening. Hopefully, we will be taking your comments. We will be engaging you. So I am accompanied with my peer, my friend, my buddy Talal Hussain, and I'll ask him to introduce himself. Talal, bring here to you.
Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. Just like Hunain bhai mentioned, we today are going to talk about SAT and all about it. Uh, I strongly believe that this can be a make or break year for your career. Obviously, because a good SAT score can definitely take you places, and obviously, if you have to know everything before you go for it, before you plan for it, before you start studying for it. There are a lot of things that you need to know and plan ahead and be proactive in order to get that score and be mindful of the fact that any mistake can cost you a lot. So today, in today's webinar, we are going to we'll try to at least get across all the information that we have that may assist you and help you in getting that score, hopefully, inshallah.
Hopefully, inshallah. Anil, I would really want you to put up the slide so that we can start
Yep.
about it. Thank you so much, buddy. So the name, if we talk about the catchy line, sad prep, that actually works. So this just came up into our minds, and we were like, I think this actually fits our dedication and towards students and how do we cater their needs. So yes, here we go. Uh, we have already introduced ourselves, so this is a brief, slight intro of what we have been doing since many years. Both of us, right after we graduated, we dedicated our full time towards teaching students, guiding them, counseling them, so that they can get into their top universities. So, a brief introduction of how times have changed, how SAT have changed. Previously, it was just a paper based, monotonous, uh, tons of questions stamp onto the paper, and you had to do a 5 hour SAT back 12 years ago. But then the college board, the leading body, decided this is not how the students want. We do not want the students just to know math, just to know English. Our students should have uh, the know-how of all the possible things which are happening around. They should know what is y is equals to mx plus c. They should know that what is the meaning of a difficult word and how to use it into a context. So slowly, I have seen three changes in SAT. One of 2400, back 12 years ago, the SAT was of 2400. Then it converted into a 1600 SAT, and now the score is 1600, but it's now digital. The questions are very non-generic. They are very what do I say, engaging. They test students' knowledge, just not the definition, uh, not the meaning. So a deep analysis have been drawn into the new SATs. Talal bhai, anything you want to add over here?
Yeah, perfectly put. I think this is what all it is about, because as per the college, as the college board puts it, we want to take it as close as possible to the real world education, the real world challenges, and the challenges that students will face in their college, right? So the problems that used to be, or previously we had SAT questions that only had to do with, maybe because memorizing words, and things that were the word that they use was obscure, so that was not really relevant with the modern studies and how things are going. So that is the changes that they have brought on the SAT. Will not only that, they do not only help students over here when they're preparing, but they also help those students when they are in their college, and the skills that they develop, they just stay for life.
Sure, for sure. Moving on, I have already talked about the evolution of SAT. So here is like two three lines on discussing what has actually happened. So in 2016, the 1600 SAT came up, and then 2 years ago, 2023, the digital SAT came up. The digital SAT uh, was not only a transition from a paper-based test to SAT. Some major solid changes came up. One, which was a bit shocking to us, was adaptive. I hope I get to talk about adaptability in next few minutes. Right now, as of now, this was a brief discussion about how the SAT has changed. uh, as already discussed, already ingrained, the SAT is now more focused. It has more in-depth questions. It's more relevant. I actually love this word, the relevancy part. Uh, you hiring an Uber. Can you imagine you hiring an Uber is also y is equals to mx plus c is the equation of line with many other factors obviously. But now the college board does not want people to learn definitions, not just learn formulas. It actually tests now the real life knowledge. The room we are sitting in over here is a cuboid. Earlier, you used to get the length, the breadth of cuboid as this, find the height, but now it's all around you. The math has revolved around you, and I believe even with English nowadays you see questions in verbal that are more relevant, that are more real life questions. I think the words you use in your real life and not just bookish dictionary words. And the last part is more transparent. I particularly believe transparency is what College Board has actually achieved in the past few years. The paper is now the results. If you even talk about the results, the percentile system. Okay, so just giving it 30 seconds about the percentile system. Uh, there are two SATs in the world. One is SAT America, and one is SAT other countries. So the cutoffs, the passing marks, the percentile is managed in America separately, while other countries have it separately. So what we have seen in the trends is the people of Asia precisely are good in math, while the people of America and Europe, maybe because it's their native language, they're actually good in English. Moving forward, Alaudi, I would really want
Yeah,
you to
this
talk about
yeah,
it.
this is what we have been obviously talking about, and just what Hunanbai talked about, the importance of SAT. Understanding the importance of SAT will actually give you a lot of perspective, because once only a student knows how important something is, how important what they are doing is, it gives them that energy to prepare for this. So the first thing, it opens the doors to colleges and universities. I often tell my students that SAT, a good score on the SAT, is the master key to most of the colleges in this world. Like I told you, this year can be a make or break year for you. So any student who's getting a 1500 or a 1400, he's definitely going into some good university. And if you're going above 1500, then definitely you can go towards, you can aim those Ivies and the Stanford and all those universities that one you may only dream of, but this score can actually get you there. I have seen many students who in the recent past, local and international students who wish to go to such universities but have no idea how they can get you how you can, they can get there. But this one score can actually get you to your dream place. So this is one of the things. And then obviously it will help you build skills over time, because once you train yourself to understand that SAT English and train yourself to understand those math concepts, you over time obviously build yourself, and you groom yourself in a way that will help you, like I mentioned earlier as well, in your college life, in your careers and everywhere. So that is how it is. And it also, the pressure when when we have if I talk about the verbal part, we have hardly 1 minute for doing one question. So that pressure of not only doing a question correctly, but doing that question correctly in the given amount of time, managing that gives you a lot of perspective again, opens new paradigms, and helps you understand how tough or how challenging the college life may be, or the life after that may be. So once you train yourself for that, once you practice those tests, it gives you a lot of perspective, and it helps you understand how things are going to be. And obviously it connects you with the scholarship opportunities as well. There's a national merit scholarship test in USA as well, that helps the students for that. And even if you're not a US resident, if you have a good SAT score, if you have a score that is over 1450 or maybe 1500, naturally you are going to land scholarships in universities and colleges that are looking for students who have those scores, so that they can groom them further and accept their admission. So that is one of the many students, they're like, we want to get to international universities, but we are also looking for the scholarships, because they obviously those universities, they charge hefty amounts. So that is something that you can look after as well. And obviously it will inspire productive practice, because it's not only about doing a particular test. That particular test is related to your career. So when you're thinking about the next 20-25 years, and then you're looking at a test, because this test, a good score on this test can impact your life, and in the long run obviously your career as well. So the energy that you put in and everything that you put in, that is on a next level. So these are all the things that you need to understand. And like I said, if you focus on all of these things and you start your preparation, it's definitely going to take you places.
Great perspective, Talal bhai. Thank you so much. I
Mr.
believe this is
Mr.
uh,
Talal, is it okay if I can ask you a question?
Yeah,
yeah, for
sure.
sure.
So you mentioned how the SAT is useful when studying in America. What about if people want to study in other countries? How useful is it still, like Europe or Australia or Canada?
It depends on it depends on the countries, and it depends on how many universities in those countries are accepting the SAT. But I wouldn't say that a student who is doing SAT in Europe will have no benefit of it. Obviously, relatively, I can say that as compared to USA, there will be fewer number of universities who will be accepting the SAT. But again, there are many universities in Europe or Canada that do accept SAT. And not only they accept SAT, they do give scholarships as well. So it will be useful as compared to USA. It will be maybe less, but it is useful. Over here in Pakistan, we have a lot of universities that give admission on the basis of SAT. Top universities like LUMS and IBA, they give admissions on the basis of SAT. So I would say, in a nutshell, SAT is useful and relevant throughout the world. The relevance may change and the importance may change, but it is important everywhere.
Okay, thank you.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So this is the timeline one should expect to follow. I believe that students should at least prepare for two SCTs, and the main reason is uh, what we have seen is a second ACT obviously gives you a jump, and in many universities there are options of super score. What super score is? If you get a good score, there are two components inside English and math. So if you get a good score in math in the first SAT, what you can do is you can put your all your hard work, all your dedication towards the second section, math, for example. If you got a good score in English in first, you can what you can do is you can put all your hard work towards math in your another SAT, and you can club it into one super score. So many universities accept this, and I believe this is one of the reasons all the students should go for two SATs bare minimum. So here's a small timeline which we believe we want students to follow. You start your SAT preparation in June, July, and mainly A-level colleges and high school classes are started in August. Uh, you have lesser workload in the first few days, in the first few months, I guess. Then you can go for your first SAT actual test. And if you do not get a 1500 or something for whatever score you actually want, you can go for the second SAT attempt. I know students who have given three SATs just because they wanted to get a 1570, I guess. They wanted to get a perfect score in math, they wanted to get a perfect score in English. So yes, this is one of the reasons students go for many. However, these first few 6 months are more important to give your SATs, because after that you have your mock exams, you have your college exams, and you are just on the brink to give your actual board exams, A levels, high school. It's all now clubbing into your actual board exams. So now the chances to give SAT decreases, and finally in May June you have your actual board exams. Uh, and eventually in June, July, you get acceptances from different universities. So the green part, I believe, the green and the one yellow part is the particularly best time to give SAT, and it is also recommended. Of our 12, 13 years through which we have taught, we believe that these are the best years to give SAT. Talking about the changes, you can YouTube any particular video you want to see. There are tons and tons of material, tons and tons of videos. However, what we believe in this webinar, we want to engage you, we want to take your Q&A, and we want to tell you something which actually benefits you and you do not find elsewhere. However, these changes are an important part which you have to know. SAT has gone digital. We have talked about it. It has gone shorter. Earlier, the SAT used to be 3 hours, 3.5 hours. However, as of now, it has been reduced 35 minutes each for math, two sections, and 32 minutes for English, two sections. So the timeline has decreased. Adaptive. Just to culminate this adaptive word into two, three sentences, you give your first math module. If you do good, you will get a difficult module. This has been happening in GRE, GMAT in past few years. However, in SAT, this has come up after the digital SAT. A difficult second module means you have done good, you will score higher. However, if you do not do a good first module, be it English, be it math, you will get an easier module with time, and this easier module will not get you a good score, it will get you an average score. So, one, you should do your first module very good. Number two, you should pray you get a harder module. Calculator is that allowed. I believe the calculator allowance is a benefit to some kind of questions. However, in many different categories, since the paper is more conceptual, I believe this is not a benefit as a whole. Holistically, it's actually a normal thing which has happened. Scores. Now the paper is digital. Just one click away, you will get your score. However, it's not like you just get your score for, right away, because as I've told you, there's a percentile curve. The percentile is decided after all the scores have gotten. They have to do some stats, some math, and afterwards. As far as the English part is concerned, I want Talalbi, you should add something over here.
Yeah, like Hunanbei just mentioned, it has changed a lot. And when you talk about the reading and writing part, we have now shorter passages. Previously on the SAT, we had long passages, 600, 700 words. And, for every passage, we used to have between 10 to 12 questions. But now what has happened, I would take both of these two topics together. We have shorter passages, and we have only one question from each passage. So for example, if you have 20 reading questions, then we'll have 20 reading passages as well. So what that has done is that has reduced the length of the passage. Now the passage is around 6 to 7 lines, but obviously the number of topics that it would touch, that has increased, because if you have 20 different passages, they have to be on all different topics. So you don't have to read those long and horrifying passages that the students were really afraid of. But you have to there are shorter passages, but you have to, the amount of reading that you have to do, that is going to be more diverse. That would be a good word. So yeah, that's how it is.
Talal bhai, I would really want you to just
Yeah,
skim the sad English part,
yeah, yeah.
that I
So
can jump
the
on the math.
Yeah, so the SAT English part, you can divide that into four parts, right? The two parts are related to reading and two parts are related to writing, right? The first two parts that are related to reading are craft and structure and information and ideas, and the other two that are related to writing are called standard English conventions and expression of ideas. The first two are related to vocabulary, your analysis, your ability to understand a passage and then answer, infer, take out the central idea. All of these skills you have to learn and develop and practice so that you can go on with it. And the part that is related to writing, right? That is related to the conventional grammar rules. If you talk about especially standard English conventions, that is related to the grammar rules. You learn those rules and then you practice the questions that are related to it. And then you have expression of ideas, where you take transitions and some note taking questions, where basically what's taught is the relevance, right? So you have to understand how to make the writing more and more relevant and more engaging, and that is what those questions test on it. So if I can divide it on percentage basis, I can safely say that around 54% of the reading and writing part is based on reading, and the remaining part is based on writing. So you have to go through all the different nuances and concepts of both the parts in order to excel on the verbal part.
As far as the math part is concerned, what you majorly see is, you see algebra questions, you see data analysis. By data, I mean the graphical, the graph, the bar charts, the probability, the tables, and with obviously a major part of geometry. You see the 2D geometry, you see the 3D geometry, you see real life geometry questions, lines, angles. So majorly the high uh, the subject you have studied before high school, imagine it as more conceptual questions, more common sense questions, and to add with it, you have some part which is advanced math part, where you see some functions, coordinate geometry questions. So all of the topics you have studied in your previous years. However, what you studied back then was majorly formulas, majorly just doing them. However, as of now, the paper is more conceptual, and you need to have the the logic behind the questions. Logic is the key word over here. Here are some examples of which one can have in SATs. The dates are usually out and air before. As we have discussed, the best time to give SAT is in the first 5 to 6 months, and even you, if you see it, uh, majority of the SAT dates are in the first few months. However, this year they have introduced one more month, which is September. So as of now, August till December, every single month you have your ACTs, which is, I believe, a blessing if we talk about it. The registration deadlines are usually 15 to 14 days before, and believe me when I say this, they do not extend their deadlines, and majority of the deadlines are fixed. Talking about local Pakistani universities, these are the top universities which accept SATs. I know people who have gotten 1500 and they have gotten in Pakistan. I know people with good SAT scores. However, I know people with 1400 and they were not able to land in Pakistan. while many other universities, many other countries, they were able to. So yes, the competition in top universities around the world is higher when we compare all the universities. So a 1400 plus is a score which will land you into tier 1 universities. These are the top universities you find throughout the world. You see the criteria, as I said, the top tier university, they do not want people with low SAT score. For this reason, we at Chaajao have been preparing material, we have been guiding students so that they can land into the desired universities. People with good grades, people with all the extracurricular activities are not able to land in a top tier university. Why? Because they do not have a SAT score. So I believe we tend to be the bridge between the last possible bridge between them and the university they desire to get in. Talavi, I would really want you to talk about it.
All right. So, like Hunanbai said, it's very important to know that you have to prepare for SAT, and it's very important to know all about it. And like Hunanbai said, we act as a bridge. So it's very important to be in a company of someone who is a professional and who knows how to go about SAT and SAT preparation. And as you can see, we have had scores. We have had students who have scored above 1500. We have had students who have scored perfect scores in both English and math separately as well. So because we know the test and we know how students can improve, this is something that you should consider. And we admissions are also in progress for the SAT preparation. What we focus on is a score improvement, right? We when we start, there's a diagnostic test. We try to see where the students are standing when they start, and then we have a progress report every once in a while. We know the target score of every student, and that's what we try to work on by pointing out what are the mistakes, and then seeing and getting to it, that how we can improve that. So we've had students who have an improvement of 200 points, 300 points, and even 500 plus points. So that is how it goes.
Okay, so really don't know if we have this line in coming slide, but I believe we should tell everyone we give a money back guarantee
Yeah, we
if
have
your
it.
score
I
does
think.
not improve by 200 points. We take your diagnostic test. Whatever score you get, we give you a 200 points, 100% guarantee. So this is something which we actually thrive for because we want students to not only trust us but actually believe in us that we will get them what they want. These are our recent SAT high achievers. You can see a lot of 1500 and a lot of 1400. These are only the top few of the recent years. There are many others which you will find hopefully on our website. You can obviously visit our website chaajao.com where you can actually scroll. You can see what Chaajao offers. These are our global high achievers. Recently, as I've told you, we have been teaching students throughout the globe. People from Africa, people from UK, Europe, you name it. And Alhamdulillah, we have gotten them scores which they haven't been getting even through giving two SATs. So yes, this is a plus point. At our Chaajao, you can find both the English version for those who have their native language as English and the Urdu version if you're comfortable in Urdu. To add to this, you can find the recorded course where you will find bite-sized videos. You will find the topical videos for any topic that is a part of SAT and a major solid practice zone. So here's a good point. You won't find relevant practice questions on internet for SAT. You might find a few dozens or even 100. However, uh, on Chaajao, we have actually taken the data from College Board. We have made our own questions. We have seen the pattern that College Board follows, and we have come up with hundreds of questions so that students can get a particular know-how of how SAT is demanding from them. Talal bhai, something about
Yeah,
live on
sure.
campus.
Yeah, so There's something for everyone. It's all about your feasibility and how what is the best option for you. So the first option that we give to student, that we provide to student, is obviously the premium one, and that is the live classes. So the live classes is a complete course where you go through every concept with the instructors, and it's not only about the concept. When we are done with all the concepts in reading and writing and math, we then jump off to the practice test, and we try to solve at least 10 practice tests, where we not only just get through the solutions, but we go through the scores of the students, and we see where they're making their mistakes. We get out those mistakes, we talk about those mistakes with the students, and then with time and practice, once the students keep on working with their on their mistakes, we have seen great improvements. So that is something for the live classes. From start till the end, you are with the instructors, you're given feedback and everything. But if there's anyone who just wants to work with his or her own time schedule, right? So if live classes are a problem for you, if live classes is are not the ones with that match your feasibility, then we also have recorded lectures. In the recorded lectures, you'll find everything. We have videos for every concept that SAT might test, would test. We will find a video on it, and not only a video that is explaining the concept. With it, you'll find some notes. You'll find some lessons that will tell you, that you can read on after the concept, that will help you further understand how it goes about. And after you're done with that, there are some practice questions as well. So those practice questions will help you further solidify the concepts that you've gone through in your recorded lectures, right? And finally, along with the recorded courses, what like Hunenbhai said, we have a practice zone, because I believe practice is everything, if not everything, at least near to everything on the SAT. If there's a student who is getting along with all the concepts, but he's not getting along, he's not doing good practice, it would be a problem for him or her. So if you want to get a good score on the SAT, you have to get along with practice. And on the practice zone that we'll have topical questions as well, and then we'll have full length mock test and grind test as well, where we'll have a real time simulation and experience of the how the SAT actually looks like. So this is how it is. And we are right now offering this as well, where if you want to go for the recorded courses and the practice zone, you can just use this promo code and get the discount, 40% discount. And just in case you want to enroll for our live classes, this is exclusively for you guys, where we are offering 15% on all our live classes. That's how it is.
And this is only for ZNotes,
Yeah.
because I believe that students who actually have joined, they should get something for it. Majority of you might give SAT, so this is a small gift from our side. So I think this is just about it, and we will jump on to the questions we have gotten. So yeah, so money back guarantee point.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest features. The 200 points improvement. Yeah. So for Q&A, we have gotten Shaurav Hassan. Shaurav has asked, tell us how to prepare by self-studying and self-evaluating. Uh, we particularly believe that one can always attempt SAT on its own. However, he or she needs guidance, and for that we have built this entire ecosystem of Chaajao. What you can do is, just if you do not want to take the live classes or the recorded course, you can always go for our practice zone, where you can find relevant questions. Here you can find what to study, what not to study. And even if we talk about self-studying, I believe recorded course might be a very good feature for you. You need to build a timeline. You need to decide by giving a diagnostic test. You need to you need to give the diagnostic test and compare. For example, if you get a 1100 and you want a 1500, so you should know that you should give SAT at least twice, and you should have a 3 to 2.5 months break where you can study for it. So this, what I have told, are just words, and what we do at Chaajao is we make students follow this platform.
Okay, I also have some questions. Um, Firstly, I heard that in in the math part, there's Desmos in the
Yeah, yeah.
exam. How helpful is that in getting a good score in math?
I particularly believe if a student knows how to play with Desmos, actually play is the right word, yes. He or she can crack, I guess, 7 to 8 questions out of 22 just through Desmos. Desmos, I would also recommend everyone who wants to give set SAT should go to desmos.com and to the graphic calculator. You see a question online, you see a question on point of intersection, anything, you just put the equation in the Desmos and you should know how to read, how to go through it. We at Chaajao tried this ask the students to at least work on Desmos for 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's for continuously 2 months. Through this, as I've told, you do not need to do any algebra. You do not need to pick up the pen. You just put the equations, and if you know what to do and how to do, you're fine. You're good to go.
Okay, perfect. One last question. What would you say is the most important thing that a student should do or should keep in mind when doing their SAT? The most important thing.
So, Lalbhai, I would want you to answer it
Yeah,
so that I can add it in at the end.
yeah, sure, yeah, sure. So, well, it's a very generic question. So there are a lot of things that you should do when when you're preparing for the SAT, right? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the most important thing that a student can do is, obviously he is going to work on the concepts. He is going to understand the concepts. What I believe is the reason that we prepare or anyone prepares for SAT is a score improvement, right? And score improvement is, like I mentioned before as well, is only achieved when students know where they're making the mistakes. So practicing, once you're done with the concepts, you practice the papers. And when you practice the papers, there are many students who practice a lot, but they just cannot get that improvement. And when I ask them, why are you not getting the improvement, what is the problem, where do you lag? So they're like, we lag in reading and writing, we lag in math. So I asked them, so where in reading and writing? So that most of the students, they do not have an answer. So you have to be very precise where the problem is. You have to be very precise. For example, I cannot score in the vocabulary questions, I cannot score in the grammar question. And that would only happen once when you see your wrong answers and work on them. And maybe I tell my students to make a log of what of the questions that you're getting wrong, and identify the topics that they are related to, and start working on them. Once the students start to do that, they start getting improvement in their scores and obviously get to the desired score. That is my take of what the most important thing is when you're preparing for the SAT. I would like Unenbai to add to it as well.
I believe that's the best possible answer I could have ever heard. I'll be very honest with this. Uh, I was actually thinking about it, and yes, this is one of the most important errors. People say my math is weak. Boss, bro, your non math is not weak. A topic is weak, which is hurting your score. And you need to get hold of it. People are good in algebra, people are good in data analysis, people are good in advanced math, but they lack in geometry. And because of this, and even in geometry, there are many subtopics. So I believe a student should actually uh, counter the topics which is not helping to improve its score and focus on it. And just to add to it, we have topical and subtopic wise recorded videos and practice questions at Chaja so that you can know about it. We are working on the AI part. Hopefully, sooner or later, you will get to know just by doing a paper how many of the good topics you have, how many of the bad topics you have. But I think Daniel, that's a very comprehensive answer you could have asked for. So yes, knowing your
Okay.
topical problems is the game.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I think that's all the questions I and the chat have. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Hanan and Mr. Talal,
Thank you.
um,
Thank you for
and
having us.
to Chaojao for partnering with us on the event. Yes, before we conclude, please, if you can, take a moment to complete the survey, which is in the chat. It's in the chat. And yeah, thank you everyone for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you at future events and have a wonderful day.